Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to Critical Mass Radio. Now, it's our turn.
CMR Critical Mass Radio in association with We Are Change Manchester and Freedom Northwest. Please note the views and opinions expressed by the hosts on this show are not necessarily the views held by the station. CMR is for people who want answers, because now it's our turn.
Good evening. Thanks for joining me. Welcome to the show. This is Rob Freeman with the Out of the Matrix show here on Critical Mass Radio. Yeah, so hi everyone. Hello to everyone in the chat rooms. I can see a few familiar names there. How you all doing? Are you okay? What a strange week I've had. Wow. I never know how to start these shows, you know. It was a slow build-up, weren't it? I think I played every jingle there and all sorts there. Yeah, quite a slow build-up there before I came on. Yeah, I've had a really strange week this week. When was it? Since last Wednesday. Strange things have happened. So I'm a bit out of sorts tonight. I usually like to do a show where I sort of fire information and facts that I've discovered either in the week between the shows or the preceding weeks, because I research ever so much and try and put information your way. But tonight I'm struggling a little bit. The reason I'm struggling is we've had a really strange week and it's been ups and downs and weird things happening. I don't know if any of you lot have experienced it. Just looking over in the chat room, yeah. And Lisa's saying, yeah, she's had a strange week. Yeah, it's thrown me off my stride a little bit there, Lisa, to be honest. So anyway, we'll do our best. So welcome to the show for what is what now? Show number 14. That's it. I'm on show 14 already there. Who would have thunk? Right, so opening track, Shut 'Em Down, from 1991. Or was it Public Enemy? Yeah, they were good then. That's when hip-hop was it? Hip-hop. I can never say that. Hip-hop. Sounds like a hip operation. No, hip-hop. I can never say that. Yeah, when it was real, back in those days, before this commercial rubbish nowadays, I used to be into all that rapping stuff at one time. In my youth. Yeah, so Shut 'Em Down, this is what we've got to do. I've been saying this for quite a few weeks, and I found that track and thought, oh, I'll stick that on. Yeah, so the main aim of this radio station, the main aim of the Out of the Matrix show, is to shut them down. Shut them down, them lot. Them lot who are running things, not for our benefit. Them lot who are, those lot who are abusing our trust. We've entrusted them, and they're just taking the pee, aren't they? So yeah, that's my main thing, is to shut them down somehow. So that's why I played that track. So before I go any further, I just want to make a few apologies for, let's have a look, couple of announcements. Yeah, I've had loads of emails. If you sent me emails or Skype messages, there's a backlog of about, I would say, 2 weeks now, and I just can't, I would have to sit here in front of my computer answering them all. I've had that many. Yeah, so if you have sent me an email or a Skype message, and I've not got back to you, don't worry about it. I have got a bit of a backlog, but I will do. Give us another week or so, and I will get back to you. Okay, so that's that for that. I want to say thanks to Pippa. I don't think she's here yet, but she's helped me out with some paperwork. So cheers, Pippa, for that. And that's it for announcements, I think. Yeah. Okay. Right, I have had such a strange week. All sorts have happened to me and to other people that I know, and some stuff's not been good, and some has, but it's all been a bit weird, really. It got even more weird on, when was it, Saturday? Saturday I went to see David Icke at Wembley Arena, was it? Yeah, Wembley Arena in London. And I know some people from the station went. I think actually Pippa and her husband went, and Ben, who hosts the Pamela show, he went, and they liked it. But you know, what I have noticed, especially this week now, is I don't know what to call us, but the people in the truth movement, or whatever we want to call us. I don't like labeling people, but the people in the truth movement, there's been a big divide. And I went to see this David Icke gig. I'd had my ticket all year. I hummed and ahhed whether to go, and I ended up going. And I ended up going home at half time. Half the show was done, and I decided to go and get on the tube, catch a train, and come home. Everybody else says the second half, because it was in 4 stages, the second half was fantastic. But I went 2 years ago to see him, and it was fantastic then. And this time, very strange. It got to just before half time. And I love David Icke. It's thanks to him that we are researching stuff. Yeah, so it got to half time, and we was coming out with some good stuff. And about, 20 minutes before half time, he came out with this big revelation about the planet Saturn. And he'd just discovered, apparently, or this news had come fairly quickly to him, fairly recently to him, that the courts, the religions, the police, everybody are all governed by Saturn worship. And he went into detail about the planet Saturn, how it's really Satan. And he did some good stuff on it, but I'm not being funny, David, but I was doing talks on this 2.5 years ago. And I thought, well, you've not researched anything since I saw him in 2010. Saturnalian, as I say. That's right, yeah, that's right, love, yeah. And I was doing talks on this 2.5 years ago, and he's just come up with this information, and I thought, I'll just read a message. Yeah, I agree, yeah, Paul's just posting a message, yeah, fantastic stuff, David, like, and he's the reason why we're all researching and fighting back and doing stuff. Yeah, I agree with Paul there. But what I've realised is that this divide I'm talking about, I've realised that he's not done any more research. I mean, I felt like getting up and saying, David, just shove over a minute and I'll do a bit better talk on Saturn, because I know quite a lot about it. I've studied it for about 2.5 years now. And some of the stuff he actually said was a bit incorrect. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I expected to be a bit gobsmacked with his research, but, you know, he's writing books and, you know, he's touring and things. So that was the first bit, and I thought, well, he's not teaching me anything new. But what really did piss me off kind of thing, and I love David Icke, so I'm not slagging him, I'm just, you know, making a point, is about 10 minutes before half time, when I decided to go home, he said that we live in a world where, I don't know the exact words, because I was dropping to sleep actually, but he said we live in a world where we work, we get our money, and we pay for everything, and then they take it off us in taxes and stuff, and what's left is we consume everything. And then just before half time he said, let's stop paying things, let's stop paying for everything. I think he said stop paying your mortgages. And I thought, David, what the hell? You pay for everything. David Icke pays his council tax. David Icke pays his bills. David Icke pays everything. I thought, you're all right standing there in front of thousands of people saying stop paying. People don't want to hear stop paying. People want to hear how to stop paying. How do we do this and still survive? So I'm thinking, well, you're telling people to stop paying, but you're paying yourself. And then the consuming bit, this is a bit of a rant, this, isn't it? The stop consuming bit, 8,000 people roughly there, paying an average of 30 or 40 quid a ticket. How much did David Icke earn that day? Even if it was only a quarter or half of that, that's a big income for a day. And he does work hard, but that's a big income, isn't it? He's telling us to stop consuming, and I paid 65 quid for my ticket. So I thought, a bit of a double standard here. So, slightly miffed, I decided to go home. So I didn't have the face on, and I still love David Icke. And like I say, it's thanks to him that we're all here researching stuff, you know. Yeah, Naz, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, exactly. I do smaller talks myself. 500,000, yeah, Paul's worked it out. 500,000 quid on the door. I mean, fantastic, isn't it? Yeah, so I do small talks, and I tell people, if you want to, stop paying. But I don't just say stop paying, and then I carry on paying. I live it myself, stand there, face the consequences, work a plan out, and try and help people to stop paying. And that's the difference. So what I've realised is that's the split I'm talking about. What I've realised is great researchers, my favourite researchers, David Icke, Michael Tessarian, Ian O'Crane, fantastic stuff they're doing, but all they're doing is passing information on, and it's great information, and we are grateful to them. But what I've realised is the ones that are offering information only, like those, are allowed to earn lots of money, and that's what I've noticed. The ones like myself, Silon, who was a guest on Critical Mass Show with Paul on Monday. I've been to see Silon today. I spent a couple of hours with him today. Rob B, who's doing the talk at our conference. People like us, we're offering solutions, and what I've realised is we're not earning a penny from it. So the ones that feel they need to control things, I think, are steering us in a certain direction. They're allowing people to earn lots of money who are only passing information on, because after all, it's just information and opinions, isn't it? The ones that are trying to do something about it, we're not earning a carrot. In fact, it's costing us money. And I'm not complaining, because I just want people to see the system for what it is. We can't fight it. Well, we can, but we can't beat it. So what we're going to do is mirror it back and play them at their own game. So, yeah, I just thought I'd have a little bit of a mini rant there about David Icke. And he is my favourite researcher of all time. I've actually met him. He's great. But I think the time's moved on now. It's old hat, the stuff he's doing now. We don't want all that anymore. We want solutions. We want to be solution-based, and that's what it's all about for me. So, yeah, a little bit miffed. And I didn't like London anyway. I had to get off the train, then I had to go to the tube, and, I've got to tell you, folks, I'm a little bit biased because we live up north, but those people in London, oh, man, on the tube station, they were like robots. Apart from they weren't salivating, goo weren't coming out of the mouth, they looked like robots. I remember I'm from Sheffield. If somebody comes up to somebody in Sheffield and says, excuse me, can you tell me where the town hall is, for instance? We're so friendly. I'll draw a map for someone. I'll spend 10 minutes explaining where a place is. Well, I got off the tube and I went up to somebody, because there were so many people about, but nobody speaks to each other. Nobody speaks to each other on the tube or the train. And I said to someone, excuse me, can you just tell me where Wembley Arena is? And he went, nah, mate, I can't do a Cockney accent. Nah, mate, I ain't got time. I went, well, it'll only take you 2 minutes. Could you just please tell me? He went, nah, mate, I ain't got time. I'm come running past. So I said, well, thank you very much, officer. So, yeah, ask a policeman. He never even bloody stopped. So, yeah, I made it on my own. So, yeah, so what I'm trying to say is there's that many people in London that don't speak to each other. So they are miles behind the people up north, and I'm not being biased. They are very, very much behind us in terms of being awake. Okay, so that's me nattering on and blaring on about stuff. So let's stick another song on. Oh, yeah. Okay, tonight's theme or sub-theme is, and I've not got a great lot of facts and information for you here, but I wanted to do tonight's theme all about land. I've been studying land. I've been studying mortgages. I've got a great revelation to make during the CMR conference that's coming up on the 24th of November. Yeah, that's just reading the chat room. That's the society we reside in. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I always do that, don't I? Throw myself off the train of thought I'm on. Oh, don't mention train. I've had enough of those things. Yeah, so land. Yeah, I've been studying stuff about land. I did a thing last week about who owns Britain and Ireland. I've been studying stuff more. So tonight's theme is all about land, and I've got a lot of country music tonight. I like a bit of country music. I want quite a bit of that tonight. The reason being is a lot of it's American, but country, land, it's the same thing for me, and a bit of folk music, and it's all for me. It's all about folk that live on the land in the country, and that's what it's all about. So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about trying to reclaim land back, because I think that will be the final nail in the coffin for the powers that were, I call them, the ones that feel they need to control us. It's our land, we need to take it back. So I'm going to play a song here. I have an affinity for everything Irish and Irish people and the country itself. I've never been, actually, but I feel really comfortable around Irish people and Irish music. So I'll play you a quick song here, which is an Irish folk song, an Irish rebel song here. And I can't find it on my playlist. Oh, I've got it, yeah. So I'll play this and see you back in a couple of minutes.
Critical Mass Radio is a completely non-profit station where the hosts pay to broadcast their shows. The mission of the station is to get as much information as possible out to people about the world we live in, to unite like-minded people, and to try to come up with workable solutions. If you agree with the work that we are doing, then please feel free to help us continue by making a donation on the webpage. CMR is for people who want answers, because now it is our turn.
Yeah, good tune, Lisa's saying. Yeah, but good that one. I love a bit of Irish yeehaw music. Yeah, that was brilliant. That was the Malleys with Let the People Sing. Yeah, so the land, folk music, I love it. Country music, I love it because it's real. It's us. It's people on the land. And it doesn't matter whether you're English, Scottish, Irish, Welsh, or whatever. We're the same, or any nationality, any country. We're the people that count. It's our land. It's our country, and we're going to take it back. So, yeah, I'm going to go on to that a little bit later about land. I wanted to bring this to your attention, which I heard about this a couple of years ago. Oh, thanks, Paul. Rob Can. Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, I came across this information about 2 years ago. In fact, this report I've got now, nothing to do with land or anything, is from 2010, and it's quite a disturbing thing. So, the people that know me, as you know, I've been arrested a few times. In fact, they always put me in cell number 11. I think it's like a hotel room for me. I usually complain about the service, but yeah, the room's okay, I suppose. Yes, I've been arrested a few times, and I found this report here. I've had it ages, really. And I wanted to, it's not, it's only brief, but I thought I'll go into this. So it's nothing to do with land, I'm going to do that in a bit. So, what I wanted to share with you was this. This is a report, a study done, and it's only accurate up to 2010. But you might find this interesting. In fact, you will find it interesting, but quite disturbing, actually. Okay, so like I say, I've been arrested a few times. And whilst in custody, to be honest, it is a form of torture when you are in the cells. I think the longest I got locked up was just under 3 days, but I've done 24 hours, 48 hours. And I'm usually arrested not for committing crimes, if anybody's listening who thinks I'm a criminal or anything, because I'm not. I stand on my rights, I stand on my rights, and I don't give information because I've not committed a crime. So I don't give me details, and I usually get arrested for that. So yeah, so I studied about police custody, and this is a report up to 2010. A lot of you may be aware of this, and a lot of you may not. Okay, so I thought I'd read you this. So remember, it's only accurate up to a couple of years ago. It's probably worse than this now. So what I found out is I've entitled it and stuck it into a Word document and put this information together for you. Okay, so it deals with deaths in police custody. Okay, something you may or may not be aware of. And this is, remember, only accurate up to 2010. The figures are probably higher than this now. Okay, a total of 333 people have died in or following police custody over the last 11 years. Strange number, 333, isn't it? So 333 people have died in or following police custody over the last 11 years. But no officer has ever been successfully prosecuted, according to a Watchdog's report. Prosecutions were recommended against 13 officers based on, quote, relatively strong evidence of misconduct or neglect, but none resulted in a guilty verdict. So 333 deaths and no guilty verdict for any officer. Very strange. Only in one case was a civilian member of police staff, it's a civilian member of police staff, so not an officer. Only in one case was a civilian member of police staff found guilty of misconduct and sentenced to 6 months. The IPCC study into deaths in England and Wales between 1998 and 2010 shows. Okay, so one person has only ever been convicted of anything and only got 6 months, and that was a civilian member. So far, 333 deaths, it's probably higher than that now, and no officer has ever been charged. Okay. It also reveals that 16 people were murdered last year in cases where police had prior contact with the victims. Interesting. That represents an increase of 9 murders from the previous year. So what is it saying? It's saying 16 people where police had prior contact with them were suddenly murdered. Very strange. Out of the total of 333 deaths, 87 people had been restrained, most commonly being physically held down by officers. I've had it myself. In 16 of those cases, restraint was linked directly to the death. I'll read that again. Out of the total of 333 deaths, it's been reported that 87 people had been restrained, most commonly being physically held down by officers. In 16 of those cases, restraint was linked directly to the death, and in 4 cases, they were classed as positional asphyxia. Okay, that means they stopped breathing or choked in a certain position. Still no convictions for police officers. Inquest, the independent organisation working to reform investigation into contentious deaths, said the findings were, and I quote, depressingly familiar. Okay, so this is a 12-year period where people are dying in custody and nothing's getting done and no one's getting convicted. Okay, I'll just carry on. There's only a little bit left now. The study points to alarming failures in the care of vulnerable detainees suffering from mental health, drug and alcohol problems, many of whom should have been diverted from police custody, said its co-director Deborah Coles. Okay, so these people, some of them have mental health issues, have drug-related problems and alcohol-related problems, so they never really should be in police custody. The report stated that fewer than half of detainees booked into custody who should have been risk-assessed were actually risk-assessed. Incidents where custody officers had not conducted proper checks or thoroughly roused detainees to check their state were prevalent. In other words, to check on an inmate or a detainee, all they did was shout or shake him about just to make sure they were still basically alive, and that's it. In many cases, custody officers and staff lacked basic first aid training, it said. Wow. Okay, so you are at a risk when you get arrested and detained, like myself, many times now. It is a form of torture. Some of these people haven't even got basic first aid training. Okay, nearly finished. IPCC Commissioner Mike Franklin said, the public focus on deaths in custody has understandably been on the controversial cases where the police have caused or contributed to someone's death. First among the questions it raised, Franklin said, and this is a quote, was whether custody is the best place for a large number of the people the police have to deal with. Yeah, so, brilliant. 333 Paul's making a point there. Yeah, strange number, isn't it? So, what does all that mean? It means that you are at a risk when you go into police custody. They are not first aid trained. They're not taking into account whether you have mental health issues, alcohol problems, drug problems. They just throw you in the slammer, basically. I smoke 15 to 16 cigarettes a day. I was in for 3 days and I couldn't have a cigarette. Now you might think, well, you should stop smoking, but it's a drug. Tobacco is a drug. I'm addicted. Is it not a form of torture? I was weak. I didn't want to eat the food. I was hungry. I didn't want to drink the water. I was dehydrated. End of the day, if I'd have been a heroin addict or some sort of alcoholic or something, they would have given me something to relieve the stress of coming off the drug. But because it's tobacco and it's sold on every street corner, they left me for 3 days without a cigarette. Now, I've been smoking for 15 years now. Think what that does to my body and mind to be having some sort of chemical for 15 years, and all of a sudden they stop and don't give it you. Maybe they do it to weaken you, to make you weak in mind and weak in body. I don't know. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you because it's an issue that I do think wants addressing, and needs addressing, really. Okay, so, talking about alcohol and drugs, I'm going to play another country-type song here. Oh, I like this. This is a song by Chris Christopherson. It's quite old, actually, but I like this. And it links in with the alcohol and substance problems. Yeah, so I'm playing a little bit of country music, so I like this song. This is a song called The Junkie and the Juice Head, Minus Me. Yeah, it's quite a clever song, this. It's a country song, you know, like American country music. And it's quite a clever song, this. It's about, and I think it's about Christopherson's early life. He comes out of the army. He's got about enough money for, I don't know, about 80 days to live and then he's skinned and nowhere to go. And if you listen to the song, it's quite clever. He shacks up with a junkie, a drug addict, and a juice head, which is an alcoholic. And he sort of shacks up with these. And through the course of the song, he realises that if he stays with these people, that he's just going to end up just like them. And all he's got is his guitar, and he's come out of the army, and he wants to earn a living playing some music, playing country music. And it's good because the lyrics are great. He describes the small-time street drug dealer. What does he call him? He calls him the prophet selling daydreams for a fee or something like that. It's brilliant. So when you've heard the song 2 or 3 times, you realise that the junkie, the drug addict, and the juice head, the alcoholic, and the chap who's singing about coming out of the army, there are no other people. He's talking all about himself. Yeah, so it's quite a good song. I like this. Yee-haw! Indeed, I like that kind of stuff, yeah. Yeah, it's quite a clever song, that, because after you've listened to it 2 or 3 times, you realise that he is all 3 people. Yeah, so Chris Christopherson, I've got another song from him later on. Sorry about this country music stuff, but I like it every now and again. So like I say, it reflects the people and the land that they're living on. Yeah, so I like that sort of stuff. Okay, I just want to clarify something that I read out last week. And it was I read some quotes out by some quite famous people last week. And they were good. In fact, I've got a few more tonight. I might, I'll read some of them out later. Some good ones. I like quotes because they inspire you, famous people, and not so famous people. Some famous, some not so. Their words tend to inspire me and get me going, and I think we need that at the moment. I talked about the division earlier on in this, I hate calling it the truth movement, but whatever you want to call it. And some are just half of them are making money, and half of them are just struggling on and trying to help people like myself and other people involved with this station. Yeah, I've done it again. I've thrown myself off again. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I read some quotes out last week that were quite inspiring. I just want to clarify this one because I've had quite a bit of feedback on this and not been able to answer people. I read a quote out from Martin Luther King that said, he said, "Never forget, everything that Hitler did in Germany was legal." I've had quite a bit of feedback from this saying, how could it be legal? And so I just want to clarify, the quote is that everything that Hitler did in Germany was legal. So that doesn't mean attacking Poland and all these other countries. What it means is the build-up to the Second World War, the rounding up of different ethnic groups, the Jews, the Gypsies, the intern camps that he built and everything. And by the way, it's an exact reflection of that is what's happening now. The 1930s Germany is happening right now. The exact same thing. The camps are being built and everything. People are being profiled. In fact, IBM were the computer firm were the first people to invent a type of profiling. I think it was like I forgot what it's called now. A machine that they created for Hitler and his cronies to divide people up, back to that word divide again, divide and conquer. So they could put people into different groups, different categories. So thanks a lot, IBM. Yeah, so everything that Hitler did in Germany was legal, which it was. He never broke the law. This legal system that we're living under today, and I say living, I mean suffering. We're suffering under the exact same legal system that was the fascism that Hitler and the others used. And today, the only difference is, instead of having a strange little man with a strange little haircut and moustache and a stiff arm, it's exactly the same policies, exactly the same agenda, but it's corporate fascism. They're hiding behind the corporations, but it's exactly the same thing. Yeah, so everything Hitler did in Germany was legal, not outside of Germany when he did start invading other countries. So I just wanted to clarify that, yeah. Yeah, so it's like I say, it's this corporate stuff, it's the fascism, it's corporate fascism basically. So what else did I want to talk about? Okay, so I just wanted to clear that bit up. I'm going to go on to some land stuff in a bit. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk to you about briefly. What time are we on? Let me check. 7:41. Lisa's saying there. I keep going back to this chat room here, so because I like to. People can be bothered to go in the chat room and pass comments, so I like to chat to them. Oh, Lisa used to listen to Kenny Rogers. I think we all did, didn't we? I never admitted it to my mates, but I like a bit of Kenny Rogers. Yeah, I think I'm a cowboy, or if not, an American Indian, because I love those days and I love that music and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I liked a bit of Kenny Rogers. Yeah, so I wanted to talk to you briefly about rights. We all talk. People in the truth movement. I hate using that phrase. We all talk about rights. We've got inherent rights. We've got rights. We've got rights. And they don't listen to us. I've been in court many times. Originally, they used to call me a freeman on the land. I don't use that title anymore now. I've been doing stuff for 5 years now as regards going to court and sticking up for me rights, R-I-G-H-T-S, rights. And I don't use that freeman on the land anymore because what I realised after a couple of years, plus it doesn't work anymore now. Some of the principles are great, but the courts and everybody have got used to them, so we've had to move on to trusts and things. So I don't use freeman on the land anymore. I just call myself a freeman because I don't care whether I am on the land or I'm in a boat, I'm on the water, I'm underwater, I'm underground. I don't care if I'm in the sky, in space, or where I am. I'm a free man, and we all are free. And so it's all about rights. Well, I've changed slightly this last 6 months, and what I've noticed is they're ignoring our rights. And I thought, well, rights are something that can be argued about, believe it or not. So I start looking at the words that they use against us, and people that know me know that I'm a big believer in mirroring things back against them, using their system against them. So we start looking at the words, and the word rights or right. So we are saying that we have got inalienable rights. That means they cannot be took away or transferred, or inherent rights that we're born with, and we have, but they don't recognise them. So why don't they recognise them? And what I've got to realise is, in their sick, psychotic minds, rights, R-I-G-H-T-S, in their minds is the same as rites, R-I-T-E-S, meaning rituals. Okay, this is how their sick, perverted, psychotic minds work. I like to get into the mind of a psychopath because it helps us contemplate or imagine how these people think, why they've got low or zero empathy towards us. So we're arguing about rights. They're seeing them as R-I-T-E-S, rights, which are rituals. They're saying that a right can be argued about, and they, believe it or not, I'm going to say they are right. They are correct. A right can be construed as a right, as in a ritual. So where does that leave us? Well, the Human Rights Act that people quote many, many times always gets ignored. Why? Well, one, because it's a statute, which means it's an act, which means it's not law. And then we're talking about human rights, aren't we? So we're having to claim our rights. Well, we shouldn't have to claim anything. We're born with rights, aren't we? So then what I realised, and this is thanks to Rob B from over at the Ashton Crew, there's the Declaration of Human Rights that I use. Now, the Declaration of Human Rights is not an act. It's a declaration. So I thought, well, that's brilliant. It's better than Human Rights Act. Don't use it. I'll use the Declaration of Human Rights. Speaking to Rob B, I found out that it's not law. So anything to do with rights, have you noticed it's not law? Now, the Declaration of Human Rights is still valid, but in itself it's not law. So Rob B kindly directed me to the European Convention on Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms. Now guys, now folks, this is a big difference. Rights can be argued about. We have to claim our rights. We shouldn't have to, but we do. We can be ignored. Okay. From Rob B's work and now my own research, through the European Convention on Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms, that's the key. That's the key that's going to help us get rid of this enslavement. We have fundamental freedoms. It's mentioned. Now what happens is the European Convention on Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms reinforces the Declaration on Human Rights and the Human Rights Act. So what I've realised is that fundamental freedoms, everybody has fundamental freedoms. We don't have to claim them. They're ours. Now they are being recognised. I'm now quoting to everybody. If you do get arrested or if you get taken to court, you can now quote fundamental freedoms. Fundamental freedoms give rise to our rights. Now the rights have to be recognised. So the rights in themselves can be argued about, but fundamental freedoms can't. So that's what I'm learning to do now. State fundamental freedoms and the powers that were, the horrible people, it's not 9 o'clock yet, but they do shit themselves. Because how can anybody argue against fundamental freedoms? They can't, can they? So have a look at the European Convention on Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms. Nobody can take your fundamental freedoms away. Married to that, and thanks a lot to Robbie again, is I'm learning now about the Slavery Act. So I'm just going to answer a question in the chat room. Rob, would you say the royal family are complicit in all this or under order or control? Yeah, great question, Paul. I've been asked this a few times, and there's a lot of researchers and speakers who are the same as us, who are fighting for justice and freedom. And I can't quite believe what I'm hearing, because these people are saying they are still in favour of the royal family. John Harris supports the Queen. He's saying she's under control or she's been somehow compromised. Unbelievable. I'll tell you now, from my experience and my research, and I'm not an expert on anything. I'm just a bloke, who has an ability to absorb information when I get it, and then act on it, and maybe pass it on and try and help other people to act on it. And from my research, Paul, I would say they are 1,000% complicit in it all. In fact, they play a very, very large part. They're not the most important family, the Windsors, as they call themselves. They are not the most important family, but they're up there. They're quite high up with the Rothschilds and everybody. And I would say, yeah, they are 1,000% complicit in all this. They rule. They're supposed to be in the background. Yeah, cheers, Lisa. I'm glad you agree. I know it's right. And you can feel it in your heart, can't you? You look at the Queen and never has a woman look so cold in her eyes. She sees the state of the country. She gives assent to all these shitty statutes that come through. 70% of our laws now come from Brussels, from a foreign entity. 70% of our laws now, which aren't laws, they are statutes. They're called diktats, actually. They dictate to us. Off with their heads. Snobby says, yeah, I like it. Yeah, she gives royal assent to this foreign entity in Brussels. So she has to be complicit in it. I don't believe for 1 minute that she is under any sort of control or order. I think she pretends to sit in the background and look like she's a national institution for the country. Meanwhile, check out the family's history, check out the bloodlines. Saxe, Coburg, Gotha is their name, their original family name. Married in with the Battenbergs, like the cake. That was Lord Mountbatten. A horrible Germanic, not that there's anything wrong with Germans or any nationality, but a horrible Germanic bloodline with a Jewish ancestry, but not the Jewish religion, which obviously, again, I've got nothing against Jews or any nationality or religion. I think they're the Khazars, I think they call them. But if you trace it back far enough, I think all but 2 American presidents are in some way related to the royal family. Many famous people are related to the royal family. And I think there's an American website on genealogy, and you can actually trace back the bloodlines, the genetics, DNA from some great company have done it on this website. And I think all but 2 American presidents can be traced back to 2 kings. I think it's Charlemagne and William of Orange. And so, yeah, they're all one massive bloodline. Same with the Rothschilds, same with the Rockefellers and all the other bleeding muppets that are controlling everything. And same with the royal family. They're all one big massive family, and they don't give a shit. Yeah. So sorry, I'm seem to be whinging a lot this week. You know, I've been a bit miffed this week with everything. I'll calm down. I'll be back to normal next week. Yeah. So yeah, royal family, a bag off as far as I'm concerned, and off with their heads. You're welcome, Paul. Yeah, so talking about American presidents. Oh, I've got this to play you. This is good. It only lasts a minute. I wanted to play you this. They've got their presidential election rubbish, haven't they? Where it's 2 parties. That's all they've got. You've got a choice of 2. And they're all related anyway, even the opposing ones. What is it? Republicans and Democrats in America, they have, don't they? As soon as I were playing American music, I thought I'd stick you this on when I can find it on the playlist. Yeah, so I think it's up on November the 4th, theirs. And their stupid elections with Obama. How did Barack Obama become president on paper before he started? Look at his name for a start. What's his name? Barack Hussein Obama, innit? Well, Barack sounds like Iraq, Hussein sounds like Saddam Hussein, and Obama sounds like bloody Osama, doesn't it? How the hell did he ever become president? He's crazy. He's just black enough to influence the ethnic minorities, and he's just white enough for all the white rich people, the white flipping muppets, isn't he? I'm not being racist because I'm dark-skinned myself. I'm actually darker than Barack Obama, and so on paper he should never have been president, but he fits the bill lovely, doesn't he? Yeah, so the presidential elections are up on 4th of November, and I found this. So Americans, I'm playing a lot of American music. I like Americans. As a whole, they are politically more motivated than us. They've not seen the scam yet, but they are slightly behind us, I think, in terms of being aware. So I'll just play this. It only lasts about a minute. And somebody's put this video together about who to vote for in the American elections, so have a listen to this.
This November, don't vote for the lesser evil. Make 2012 a year of significant change. And vote for nobody. Nobody will keep election promises. Nobody will listen to your concerns. Electing nobody is the only way forward.
Nobody will help the poor and unemployed. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody gives a
Nobody is going to fix your problems.
Yeah.
If nobody is elected, things will be better for everyone.
Vote for nobody. Vote for nobody.
Vote for nobody! Vote for nobody!
Nobody. 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 Nobody.
Nobody. Nobody. Nobody. Nobody. Nobody. Nobody.
Vote
for nobody!
I'm nobody, and I approve this message.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, I like it. Vote for nobody. Yeah, brilliant. I don't think I've ever voted in my life. Yeah, I like it. Vote for nobody. So the Americans are starting to wake up. I hate saying that as well, but becoming aware, aren't they? They're realising that it's a two-horse race, two different masks on the same face, all run by corporate fascism. So whoever you vote for, and it's the same here. We've got two parties to choose from. We're all working to the same agenda. So vote for nobody. Like it. Okay, so that's that bit. What did I want to get on to now? I'm not very organised tonight, and like I say, I'm usually firing facts and solutions and stuff, and I'm really struggling tonight. And like I say, it's been a really strange week. There's been some quite sad news around for us all, and I've seen a bit of sadness in a few different avenues this week. People, the division I spoke of earlier about the people like David Icke, who they seem to be earning the money, and the ones offering solutions don't. But there's also been a further division, a divide, almost like a subdivision. And I've noticed a lot of people in this movement now are falling out and disagreeing. I've seen many petty arguments this week coming from all sorts of different people. And I'm a bit miffed by it. This is why I'm not very... I'm usually really positive. I am positive tonight, but I'm usually firing solutions and facts. And as we say in Sheffield, I've had my duck knocked off a bit this week. And people that I thought were friends and of the same mind and the same motivation, because it's all about us getting rid of this enslavement, isn't it, before it's too late. And I've noticed petty arguments, petty backstabbing, talking about each other from many different avenues this week. Oh, Lisa saying, knock me duck off. Yeah, and you say it in Sheffield, we've knocked me duck off. It means if, I'm down, it's knocked me back a little bit. Poor duck. Yeah, forgot to duck. Oh, yeah. So I've noticed this sort of infighting again. And the only thing I can think of is that as we're getting closer to where we want to be, and we have moved this last 6 months, the last 3 months we've moved even closer and closer to where we want to be. Many people are starting to get results in court, myself included. Truth Juice Days has some great results. I spoke to other people. Some people are doing it through sending the documents, and these people, bailiffs and everybody, are backing down now. Even the police, the army, and even judges. I went to meet Salon today from Get Out of Debt Free. Salon told me that even some judges now are starting to recognise, hang on a minute, these people that are standing up for their fundamental freedoms and rights have got a point. So we are starting to make a difference, and we're starting to get results. And I think because we have accelerated so fast, maybe as we're getting towards the finish line, people are starting to panic a little bit, or maybe the people that we thought were our brothers and sisters and were as genuine as us, maybe they're not. Maybe it's still a fear thing. Maybe they've not lost the fear-based control system. Is still a part of their experience of life. So maybe it's the final letting go. But yeah, so I just want to announce, let's stop this shit of falling out about things that don't matter. It's truth that's important, says Andy Army. Exactly. Let's get to the truth. Truth, in my opinion, is trust. These people that are falling out, there's a distrust or a mistrust brewing, whether it's been orchestrated by the powers that were, or whether it's just a panic, fear type thing. I don't know what it is, but let's just cut it out, because, like I said, there's a split. We're not here to earn money. We're here to... We can see down the timeline. We know what's coming. And what is coming, well, it doesn't bear thinking about, does it? We've got no choice. We can bury our heads in the sand, or we can carry on together. We're going to fall out. We've got differences of opinion. We're not two of us. You can't get two of us in this truth movement that agree on everything. We can't agree on everything, because disagreement leads to debate, leads to solutions. Now, disagreement doesn't mean falling out. Paul's just saying he agrees, yeah. So, and some things, Paul, you and I, we don't see exactly eye to eye on, but that's the point. We can disagree on opinions, but still come to a solution. So we don't have to agree on everything. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Mini rant over. My dog is squeaking. I think he wants to nip out into the garden. I don't know whether you're picking him up. Oh, poor lad. Bruce needs the toilet. Oh, my lad's letting him out. Thanks a lot, Jack. My little lad's letting the dog out. Sorry about this. Only on CMR. Yeah, so stop this squabbling. Stop the argument. It's petty. It's bullshit. We're all here for a reason. And it's to help save ourselves and each other. Hi, Bruce. Like it, Lisa. Yeah, so forget all the shit. If you don't want to be part of the solution, then you're part of the problem as far as I'm concerned. It's not about self. It's about, well, it is about self to a certain extent, but it's about sharing information, ideas, coming to a solution, and the main thing, standing together. So that's what I'm about. That's what Critical Mass Radio is all about. That's what the Outlaw and the Matrix show and all the hosts. And it's all about getting solutions. So I just want to draw your attention before I play another song to the Critical Mass Radio conference. I know you've heard of it, or sorry, you've heard about it, but some people may have not. Some people may be new to the radio station. Just hearing about it's not enough. You've got to get bums off settees. Click the donate button. It's 20 quid. I'm just looking at the poster now. It's on the main page. You cannot miss it. Even David Blunkett could probably see this poster. It's massive. Okay, you've got 7 speakers, 6 is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 speakers, 6 fantastic speakers, and then myself. Folks, chapesses, it's 20 quid. It's 20 quid for 7 speakers. It's less than 3 quid a speaker. If anybody's whinging about the price, wake up. You are not on our planet. It's 20 quid. Go to the pub for 2 hours and 20 quid's gone on it. Look, Rob B, the chap I spoke about, fantastic. I speak to Rob quite a lot. Asking why are we doing what we are doing and the goals we're aiming for. Ties in with what I've just been saying. Reaffirms why we are doing what we are doing and why we should all be together. Forget the squabbles, forget the bullshit arguments. We're all here together. We've got a mission. We've now got a plan. We're spreading information. We're grouping together. We're linking up, and we're going to shove it up them. And people like Rob B are going to help us. And saying we've got Albert Burgess there talking about the English Constitution, ex-policeman trying to stop the treason and contacting every police force, every police station in the country. And if they don't recognise the treason, then they are complicit in it. So they become liable. So Albert doing a great job. Ben Emlyn-Jones from Palmore Radio against the New World Order, discussing the paranormal, government cover-ups, very, very essential, something that's quite overlooked. UFOs and related phenomena, brilliant. It's all part of it. As we know, the stuff that I do, not paying of the bills and the court system, it's all one circle. Mine's a segment of the pie, if you like, but so is the stuff Ben's going to talk about. A fellow Sheffielder, I've met Tony Farrell once, I think. Tony Farrell there is talking about British policing, a former analyst with South Yorkshire Police, realising the corruption, realising that British policing has gone to pot. They are as corrupt as anybody else. So Tony Farrell there speaking. I mean, just on those 4 people alone, the information is invaluable. 20 quid is a joke. Mark House, another CMR host, talking about basic military training. Excellent. Techniques of mind control. The occult side of the military and police training. How the powers that were are controlling the forces to enforce these shittier and shittier legislation laws against us to further take away our fundamental freedoms. Mark House goes into the training and what's involved. Fantastic. David Noakes. I've watched him and read quite a lot about him. It goes on about the Constitution, laws and regulation of the EU that I was talking about. The traitors that are the European Union, the foreign entity that now runs Britain with the assent of the Queen. How we are being held in slavery. And solutions, offering solutions, a strike against the EU till government resigns or repeals the treaties. So yeah. And then, of course, there's another chap, Rob Freeman, whoever he is, and he's talking about courts. The trust relationship, that everything does come back down to trusts. And debts and the economic enslavement, it's £3 a speaker, Paul, isn't it? Just reading the chat room, it's nothing. You're getting information here that could, that will release you from enslavement. 2, empower you, and 3, ultimately, done as a whole, as a group, together, joining forces, could ultimately save yours and your families and your children's lives, just by gaining this knowledge. Now you tell me that's not worth 20 quid. I'm not being funny, it's worth 200 quid, it's worth 2,000 quid. You're not going to get this information. Like I say, you can pay 65 quid to go and see David Icke. Fantastic show he puts on, fantastic information, loved it. But the time is come to an end for passing information on and then doing nothing, going home and sitting on it and just telling your friends about it or posting something on Facebook. It's about getting off your arse, off the settee, meeting other people, discussing, and this conference, this is what it's all about. Purchase a ticket, it's a donate button, it's simple. It's a big yellow button on the right hand side of the poster, you click it and off you go, it's simple. No excuses, guys. If you are not buying a ticket, if you are not coming along, then you are not really 100% committed and not a part of this truth movement. Andy Army J is just saying Dean Clifford coming up on Red Eyes Creations Radio. Thanks, Andy Army. Love Dean Clifford, done a lot of stuff with him. I sent him an email, actually. He may get back to me because I've discovered something about trust that he's not, as far as I am aware, mentioned. So, yeah, thanks for that. I'll try and listen to that. So if you're not going to the CMR conference, it's not about making money. All the money that does come in goes back into the station and comes back out to you. So you get your 20 quid back plus much, much more. So no excuses. Get off your arse and get along. And it's all about being free. And that's as far as I'm going to say on the subject. It's all about being free. And we're never going to get there unless we actually do something about it. So let me stick another song on, and this song fits in nicely because this is all about being free as well. Lighthouse Family there with I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free, or something like that. Anyway, yeah, good song that, I like that. Yeah, so a mini rant. I keep having mini rants tonight, don't I? I'm just going to say good evening to Dr. Watson. Hi there. How you doing? Are you alright? Did you guys all go to see Mr. Right? No, I went to Dr. Watson, but I was just, if you play the podcast back for tonight's show, I came home at half time. So yeah, it was a good show and stuff, but that's all it was really, a show. So I'm just reading a message I've just got through on Skype. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, thanks for that message. I'll not bother typing back. Yeah, cheers for that, I've got that. Okay, so that was the Lighthouse Family. I like they're a bit forgotten about them, aren't they? There's some good tracks, them. Yeah, so what time are we on? Oh, I've got about half an hour, that's sound, yeah. So, tonight's theme, or sub-theme, well, I've not got a great deal of information to throw at you tonight, which is not like me. I've usually got loads and loads of stuff. So, I've made a scribbly list, as usual, and I can't even read it. In fact, it looks like Latin, my writing. I'd be alright as a doctor or a solicitor, me, because it just looks like a spider's crawled across my page. Yeah, so, waffling as usual. Yeah, that vote for nobody was good earlier. Dr. Watson, you missed that. So just a little clip from America, the American presidential elections and somebody's made a video, vote for nobody, because nobody gets things done, so that was quite good, that. Yeah, so like I say, tonight's sub-theme was land. It's all about land, really. Through my research, which I do loads and loads of that stuff, I'm a bit of a geek, really. You wouldn't think so looking at me. Dr. Watson's just saying, caught a small portion of David Icke on YouTube and it looked a bit too showy. Yeah, it was a bit theatrical. It was great. I'm not slagging him, and he's a great researcher and everything. Yeah, you're right. I keep having a go at David Icke tonight, don't I? Yeah, it was a bit of a showy type thing, Dr. Watson. But yeah, still good. But not my sort of thing. The Critical Mass Radio Conference, I hope you're coming, Dr. Watson, to that. I've just had a rant about it. And it's not too far from where you live, because I know you. 20 quid for 7 speakers, mate. Less than 3 quid a speaker, so get yourself there. I'll be there. We'll have a beer and a chat and catch up on old times, mate. Yeah. So, land. I'm talking about land. What I've realised is I'm all for taking back our freedom and everything, as you know. Not paying a damn thing. I don't pay anything, apart from my mortgage. I have been to see a chap called Ceylon today. He don't live that far from me, about 30, 40 miles away. Like I said earlier, but if you've just joined the show, he was a guest on the Critical Mass show on Monday night, Paul Giovanni, our manager's show. Ceylon runs Get Out of Debt Free website, fantastic site. I've been on it myself, helping thousands of people now. And I had a good chat with him today, and I wanted to go and see Ceylon to run a couple of ideas I've got about mortgages and land. Now, I've kept pretty quiet lately, but I've been studying land and reclaiming land back, or protecting the land that we've got, whether you've got a mortgage or not. And I ran a couple of ideas through, by Ceylon. Very knowledgeable Ceylon, and a very similar outlook to me. In fact, very, very similar. And the ideas were great. He agreed with them. He said they are going to fight you tooth and nail every step of the way if you get this information out, or rather, if I put into practice this information. So, a good thing, I know I'm on the right track. I'm doing a talk on the 12th, let me just look, on the 12th of November over at Liverpool Truth Juice. I've now got some information, but I think it's only fair to not give this information out either on the radio show now or at that talk. I'm going to divulge on the 24th of November back to our conference, Critical Mass Radio Conference, the information I've been working on. I need a bit of help. I may have mentioned it in brief a couple of times to people, but what I've found out, and it is 98% feasible, this, I have found out that if you have a mortgage, own a piece of land, even if you've not got a mortgage, I've got friends who've paid the mortgages off or paid cash, there's still a facility in there for them to take it back off you. I have found a 98% method where we can claim our land or our houses and the land it sits on and never pay the mortgage again. It will in effect be a stalemate, but we will own it. The onus, I mirror everything back, the onus will be on the other side to prove by, we're going to request certain documents and certain proof. This is what I do. For people who are new to the Out of the Matrix show or new to listening to my droning Yorkshire voice, I mirror things back. I don't fight anything. I accept everything they throw at me, whether it's a council tax bill, a parking ticket, a fraudulent mortgage, like I tried to do last year and had to back down. This time I'm not going to. I accept everything, any liability, anybody saying I owe this or I owe that or I'm liable for this, brilliant, chuck it my way. It can be $3,000, it can be £3, or it can be 30 million, I don't care. But I'll accept it all, but on condition that you show me a bit of proof. And that's what I asked for, and they never can. This is why I don't pay anything. So based on that, I found a way where we can live in our houses and never ever pay for them again. Based on the same idea, show me proof that the mortgage was lawful and legal, and that you have a claim of right to my property that I live in, that I'm been paying back to you. Show me some proof. Now, from my research and run it through a few people, and I'm going to divulge this information, I want us all to group together. I want us to do it in what's called a class action, 100 of us or whatever, to all request these documents, which I'm now learning to do, but carry on paying for it as mortgages. Carry on paying your monthly payment, because then we know we don't get in arrears, and if we are in arrears or whatever, we carry on making the payment and we request the documents. We give them time limits, we give them extra time, and then we go for it. Now, I'm 98% confident, in fact I'm 99% confident that we can do this. Added to this, anybody that has had repossession of their house, whether it's 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or whatever, based on this, if you had, for instance, a 150 grand mortgage and you paid 100 grand and you couldn't manage the rest and they kicked you out, whatever you've paid up to that point, for instance, £100,000, using this, what I've got together, you can now claim back 3 times whatever you paid out in punitive damages, punishment damages. So if you've paid 100 grand off on your mortgage and got it repossessed, you can now claim back 3 times that amount, 300 grand. You can't get the house back, I don't think, but you can get 300 grand. Next best thing, isn't it? In fact, it's a better thing. So, I'm not going to divulge the ins and outs. I want to perfect it. I've got till the 24th of November to come up with even more information, which is what I'm doing, and I'm going to release this information fully from start to finish. Obviously, I've got to try and condense it because there's a time limit, but I'm going to put this information out. So far, I only know of one chap who's hit on this slightly and done nothing about it. I've had a word with Salon today. As far as I'm concerned, I'm the only person in the country that's come up with this as a package. So, I need help. I need people to understand it, keep going through it, have a look at it, and the number one thing is that if you do try this, you are at no risk whatsoever to getting kicked out of your house. So, it's going to be great. So, that's worth 20 quid on its own, isn't it, just coming to the conference. Keep pushing this conference because I know it's going to be great. Oh, cheers, Lisa. Yeah, so I'm going to divulge that at the conference, so brilliant. But I'm going to carry on talking about land a little bit. I'm going to stick another song on. Tonight I'm doing a bit more laid-back show. I'm not firing too many facts and figures at you, because like I said, I've had an up-and-down week, and it's been quite a bit of a strain this week. I want to play this song. We've had a bit of bad news this week at the station. One of our brothers is no longer with us, bless him. And I want to put a message out to people that are struggling and think you're alone or think you can't speak to anyone. You can always speak to someone. Never, ever, ever keep it inside. I don't care what your problem is. Everyone's got problems. And everyone's problems are relative. Some people, if they get a flat tire on the car, for instance, and it takes them a couple of hours in the rain to change a wheel, that is stressful enough for some people. Other people, like myself, are more laid back. And don't get ruffled easy, but everyone's got a point where either a breaking point. Yeah, Lisa. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Feel like we've lost a really close friend, haven't we? Well, we have lost a really close friend. Yeah, so it's all relative to your problems. Some people can be in thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds debt and not give a toss, like myself. And other people can owe 25 quid and it plays on their mind. So the point I'm trying to make is, doesn't matter what your problems are, it can be anything. They are that you can email this radio station, you can email me at the show and all the hosts. My email is outofthematrix@criticalmassradio.co.uk, and it doesn't have to be about bills, it can be about anything. I've been a bit slow getting back to people, but I'm going to get on top of it this week and I will answer you within 3 or 4 days. But that's not the point. You can text message, you can email, you can phone, and you can just tell someone. And any problem you've got, the second you tell somebody else about it, it's halved. It's that old saying, but it's halved. It releases tension, the weight gets lifted, and just having somebody else's perspective, somebody else's opinion, looking from a different angle, somebody else might just say one thing and you might think, oh yeah, damn, I never thought of that. So what am I saying? I'm saying always talk to somebody else. Do not bottle up any problem. And so, yeah, so I thought I'd play this song, and it's Chris Christopherson. It's a bit of country music, but I like this song. And he wrote it, I don't know what sort of mood he was in when he wrote it, but I love it, and I like the words. So I'll stick you this on, and then we'll finish off what we got, about 15-20 minutes, and I'll talk a little bit more about land. Don't let the bastards get you down. Exactly right, mate. Do not let the bastards get you down. This is what they're counting on, aren't they? They're counting on us to just cave in. They've created a fear-based system. They expect us to just shit our pants and do everything we're told. And let's look at it. Let's look at what's happened. All they are public servants. They are in service to us. They've tricked us through their bloody sorcery, doing magic tricks on us. Human beings suffering from apathy just by nature. And what have we done? We've been suckered in for the conjuring trick. It's the stage magician, the hypnotist. We've all been amused. Instantly amused and amazed is basically the etymology is the same word. So we've all been amused by entertainment. Entertainment is entrainment. So we think we've been entertained and amused. What really has been happening, we have been entrained. Alchemist, yeah, Dr. Watson, exactly. We've not been entertained, we are being entrained by the programming, and we haven't been amused, we've been amazed. We have been spellbound. The public servants pretend to work for us. They are public servants, and what have they done? We have entrusted everything to them since the Second World War. We've entrusted everything to these people, and what have they done? It comes down to one thing, and I'm a big believer in trusts. The word trust to me is synonymous with truth. Trust is truth. If you trust somebody like your partner or your family or your close friend, it's because you know it's the truth. That's why you trust them. And what have these people do? They've tricked us into it through deception, lies and trickery, and they've abused our trust. It's as simple as that. Now, me mirroring things back, what I've realised is it is a trust relationship. What can we do? Easy. Mirror everything back and rearrange that trust. People say to me, oh, we've given our power away, and I keep repeating this. We've not given our power away. We've given away, through trickery and deception, the control of the power. That's all it is. They are our trustees when they're acting in that capacity. When they are not acting in the official capacity of public servant, they're the same as us. But they've chosen to act in that capacity. And whatever they do, judges, magistrates, politicians, cops, bailiffs, whatever you are, police, army, whatever you are, you're a public servant, you work for us. When you're in that capacity, you are what you are, our trustees. That's all we've got to do is group together, folks, group together and just say to them 2 words, fuck off, you're our trustees. You volunteered to be our trustees. The trustee gets told what to do. It's our trust. No longer are we entrusting you anymore. We are taking back the control of our trust. So either work for us or resign and go away. It's as simple as that, and that's it. Forget about the trickery, forget about the magic tricks and all the bollocks and all the deception, because if we don't, and it's simple. Second most important word in the English language, I've said it before, is trust. The most important word in the whole English language is a 2-letter word called no. That's all we have to do is stand up to them, lose the fear. What can they do to us? They can't do anything to us. All they can do is send the troops in. Yeah, well, if these troops are waking up as well. All we've got to do is stand up together in a group and just say no. No, and this is what I do. Prove that you can tell me what to do. Prove that you have got power of attorney or authority or control of my trust. Otherwise, piss off and leave me alone. Or you are then liable for breach of trust, one of the most serious things that can happen. You're our servants. A lot of you swore oaths. You are there to serve the public, including Queen Elizabeth. She's not our queen. She works for us, same as government, same as Prime Minister, same as all the Vatican and the clergy and the bloody religions. You are public servants, you work for us, we have a trust with God. You can't come between me and God or us and God. So do as you're told or go away. And that's all we've got to do. It's simple, we've just got to say no. It's as simple as that. So I am on a ranting, this ought to be called the rant station, isn't it? Yeah, so based on that, I just want to tell you a little bit about land. I've not got a great deal left, so 10-15 minutes is fine. Just laughing. Go, Rob, cheers, love. Only just found out that they think I am a merchant vessel. Yep, that's true. Dr. Watson's just posted in the chat room. Yeah, the word vessel's interesting, and the word vassal, which is to do with slavery. Yeah, very interesting, Dr. Watson. If you want to email me at the show, in fact, no, from Son, who we know, but we both know, get me phone number and ring me, Dr. Watson. I'll give you some good information on that. I can email it to you once you pass your email address on. Yeah, so we are vessels, aren't we, in the bloody high sea? That's what they treat us as. So, going back to land, I'm going to be finishing off in about 10 minutes. I've got a couple more songs to sing. A bit more uplifting. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off on land. I keep going on about land because I did something about, last week, who owns Britain and Ireland. It was a book. I've not got hold of the book yet. Somebody's kindly going to lend it me. Excuse me, just having a drink of water. That's better. We've been chemtrailed to death where I live these last few days, and I noticed 2 days after the chemtrail starts, I cough, and everybody I'm speaking to, whether it's on the phone or in person, everyone's coughing, and it's always 48 hours after the chemtrails. Yeah. To sing, you're going to sing, Rob? Oh, I don't know what that means, Lisa. There, you have to explain that. Yeah. So what was I on about? Yeah, land. Right. What was I on about land? Do you know I'm going to see now? I'm going to see now. It's the chemtrails are doing me head in. Yep, nice one, Dr. Watson. Yeah, so I'll talk about land. Yeah, this country, Britain and Ireland, that was it. Who owns Britain and Ireland? A book I'm shortly going to get. Oh, did I say I had a couple more tunes to sing? Did I? Is that what I said? It's because I sing when I mute my mic and I sing to all songs. I hope I don't leave it on. Right, I've got a couple more tunes to play. Thanks, Lisa. In fact, I can sing them if you want. Yeah, a bit of karaoke. Yeah, land, yeah. So, I'm bloody going to see now, aren't I? Right. Deep breaths. And relax. Okay, I'm on it. Yeah, Who Owns Britain and Ireland was a book. Is a book. I haven't got hold of it yet, but somebody's sending it me or lending it me, so I can't wait for that. So, land. I divulged last week that Land Registry, the con, that is Land Registry, the scam, cannot identify who between 30 and 50% of Britain belongs to, and England. So they can't identify who owns it. So it's a big scam. So who owns almost half of England? Well, half of Britain. Okay, the name of the game, by the powers that were, I call them, because they're on their way out and they are shit in the pants. The name of the game is to, as we know, treat us like slaves, trick us, corporatise us, like Dr. Watson says, make us a vassal, enslave us, give us a legal title, Mr., Miss, whatever, or an all capitals name. So we are totally enslaved. We are given we've been given corporate rights. Human rights are taken away. This is how they can do it, because they've corporatised us. Although they can never take away fundamental freedoms. That's the thing I'm also going to divulge at the conference. And the whole thing is a massive scam, so that we don't own anything. That's what they want. All we do is work like worker ants. They tax us. Incidentally, at tax, A, full space, T-A-X, a tax is a tax, a double T-A-C-K-S. A tax is really a tax. They never hide anything from us. We are being attacked through taxes, if you like. There's the more obvious ones, then there's a stealth tax. The idea, the name of the game for them, it's a massive game of Monopoly. The club that are running things, we're not part of it. Trick us into everything, trick us into consent, corporatise us, give us a legal title, so that we never ever own anything. What do? We register everything, thereby giving them the ownership. What do we get back? We get back a user's entitlement. We're allowed to use it through registration, through registering things. We're allowed to use it as long as we play by the rules. 3 most valuable things you'll ever have in your life. Not that there's a value on children, but not a monetary value, but there are kids, and you have to register them. Your children, your house, and your cars. I've said it before, but in their sick psychotic minds, that's what they consider the most valuable 3 things we have. Look at the 3 things that we have to register. What do we get? We get the user entitlement. If we don't treat the possession, or whatever you want to call it, like they are telling us to, what do? They take them away. They take children away to make money on the bloody child trafficking scam. They are repossessing houses. Last year I nearly lost my house through repossession. 4 weeks before Christmas, there were 100,000 repossessions being sought after in the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas in England alone. 100,000 a month. How many are they nicking by? Yes, because we don't own it. And the cars, obviously, you don't tax, test or insurance or do what they say to a vehicle, they'll just take it away. So based on that, I've been looking at land. I've already sorted out cars. I can mention that at the conference. I think I have sorted out children. This all comes back into trust by putting stuff in a trust. So I've been looking at land. What time are we on? 2037. I'll run through it quickly. We've been looking at land. I've been looking at land and sharing a few ideas with a few close friends and fairly well-read people. Okay, so they stick the land, the title ownership, they give you a title of Mr. or Miss or whatever. And so, for instance, I've got a mortgage here with a piece of land. Mr. Freeman, the legal fiction name, owns the property. Even if he paid the mortgage off, my brother, he's paid his mortgage off, but it's in the name of Mr. Freeman. It's been given a legal title because, as far as they are concerned, the human being, the living, sentient human being, does not own the land. Only the title fiction. The title fiction legal name of Mr. Freeman is connected to the land. Why do they do that? So at some point they're going to pull the rug from under us and take it back. Well, I found a way where they cannot do it. I found a way that connects the human being, the living sentient human being, back to the land. We are beings, we are human beings. The highest form of law is trust law. It's trust between us and God. The next highest form of law mirrors that, and it's called common law, and it's common law of the land. This is why I used to be a freeman on the land. I'm not a freeman on the land anymore. I'm just a free man. But every country has to have a form of common law, the law of the land, not the law of the sea, which is the law of the money that they're trying to enforce on us. Well, it's the law of the land. Why is it the law of the land? Because it's where we stand. We have standing on the land. We are on common ground, on common land, using our common names. Why? Because common law is common sense. Common law is do not cause harm or loss to another living soul. Do not be fraudulent in your contracts, which comes under harm or loss anyway. If you have a contract with someone, then if you're going to do something, you say you're going to do something, then just do it. It's as simple as that. So common law of the land is common sense. So what am I saying? Well, I'm saying that it is our land, it's our country. Yeah, Dr. Watson, common law, not merchant law. Look at the word merchant, M-E-R, mer. Anything with the word mer in it means sea, as in French, as in mercy, merchant, mercantile. Yeah, you're right, mate. So they're trying to enforce the law of the sea on us, which is basically the law of the money. Well, it's statute law, and it only has the force of law when you consent to it, and the trick is into consent. So what supersedes that is common law. What supersedes common law is trust law. So common law is a mirror of trust law. Trust law is a mirror from God's law. That's it. It's as simple as that. Why am I going on about common law? I'm going on about common law because I'm coming back to the land again. The biggest nail in the coffin, the final nail in the coffin, should I say, for the powers that were, is when we reclaim our land back. It's our land. It's the land of the people. Look at the old laws and the old writings. Yeah, there's Admiralty law, there's canon law. Yeah, Andy Army in there saying UCC. Yep, it's all the law of money. Canon law is a bit tricky, Andy Army, because Admiralty law is the law of the sea. Canon law there is basically the Pope. Yeah, this corporate law. It's all the law. It's all the same thing. It's all the law of money. Canon law is slightly different because the Pope and the Vatican have tried to hijack our trust, and they've come through with canon law. They have hijacked our relationship between God directly to us. But the only reason they've done that, Andy Army, is they've created this canon law, is they step forward as our executors of our trust, and all we've got to do is tell them to fuck off and switch it back round and make them trustees again. So yeah, that's canon law for you. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is, and like I said, Andy Army, they cannot come above us and our Creator, or us and God. So all we've got to do is rearrange that position. So common law is the law of the land. The reason I can't keep going on about land is the trick is to take all the land back off us again to make us pay a mortgage meaning death grip, mort as in death, gauge as in a measuring device, a grip. That's what mortgage means. It's a death grip. It's at least 25 years, 30 in America. You pay back 3 times. It's a con. They don't loan you anything, as we know. The interest created from it is unlawful, and it's just a trick to take it back off you. So, based on what's coming up in the conference, I won't divulge it till the 24th of November, Saturday the 24th of November, at our conference. I found a way where we can, I found a way where we can reclaim our land back. Not only can we reclaim the land that we're living on, i.e. our mortgages, or if we paid our mortgage, the land we've got now, the freehold property we live on, I found a way where we can now claim en masse the 50% of the land that the land registry cannot identify. We can claim it back. We can claim any parcel of land, a legitimate claim of right to this land, to any piece of land that has not been claimed lawfully, not legally, lawfully. We can switch the arrangement round so that Mr. Freeman no longer has a user's entitlement where Rob Freeman, the human being, the sentient human being, commonly known as Rob Freeman, under common law, on common ground, in common sense, can take back ownership of the land, and so can everybody else. And so this is what I'm driving towards. Okay, so information will all be divulged at the conference and later on. I want to get together. I'm doing quite a few talks. I want to group people together after this conference. This conference is everything. This is going to be a next step up for us from all the speakers, not just my stuff, from everybody. It's going to catapult us further afield. Yeah, I like it, Rob of the family Freeman. Yeah, I like it. Every step forward we make now, we're not just walking forward, we're marching forward. And every time we take, as a group, a step forward, they are taking a step backwards. They are shooting themselves. So we're going to take this country back, and other countries will follow suit. We're going to take the country back. We're going to take our own individual land back, and we're going to put them back in their rightful positions. And we're going to be back to normal. English, doesn't matter whether you're English, Scottish, Irish, Welsh, whatever you are. This is our land. They're our children. It's our property, and it's our lives, isn't it? It's our lives. We are now going to be back in control of our lives. We've had some setbacks. We've had some upsets, and we're going to get these anyway. The closer we get to the solution where we can finally get rid of them, their financial system is going to collapse anyway. So let's just keep pushing forward. Let's be confident. I always say, let's shove it up them, and let's remember that we are doing nothing wrong. It's our land, and we're going to take it back. And 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, people are going to look back and think, yeah, fair play to that lot. Fair play to them in the truth movement. They got off their arse. They did not suffer the apathy. They saw what was happening. They looked down the timeline. They realised the agenda, and they went, fuck off. We are not having it. And I'm sure you all agree, I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees. And so I'm going to close up now. My final song, I've tried to get this on, for 2 weeks. But Paul Rippon's played it on the Unpenned show. So I've been trying to get it on, and I love this song, and it means a lot. It might be American. There's a little bit of talking in it, but this is what we are all about. I think this is from 1980, originally written by who was it written by? Originally written by Woody Guthrie, but this is Bruce Springsteen. Try and listen to the words. It is American, but it doesn't matter what nationality you are. Like I said, this is what I'm all about. This is what the truth movement's all about. Not just the land, but everything else. But once we reclaim the land, we've beat them. So thanks a lot for listening to me. I've not come up with a great load of facts and figures this week, but I will next week. I'll be in the chat rooms all week. Like I say, email me at the show if you like. outofthematrix@criticalmassradio.co.uk. You can talk about anything, any problems you've got, any problems that anybody else has got, anything I can help you with. I'll get on top of answering the emails again, and I look forward to you making contact. If not, I'll see you all again next week, and I'll be buzzing next week. I'm a confident person, and I'm a positive person, and that's what I'll be like next week. So yeah, try and listen to this song. It may be American, but it applies to us all. So thanks for listening, and once again, I'm really proud to be part of this station and part of this movement. So cheers. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for listening, everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Cheers. Night night.